So, who wants to know the secret origin of the Snyder Cut? Zack Snyder recently revealed some new details about the Snyder Cut and how it came to fruition, and I have to say, the credit definitely goes to the fans. Let's take a couple minutes to dive in and talk about what Zack had to say and what the fans did that definitely pushed this over the edge. Now, before we do that though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we want to bring it to you truthfully and transparently, so you're really in the know. Well, I have to say, this story was pretty interesting to me, and Zack Snyder really does pull the curtain back here. Now recently, The Hollywood Reporter synced up with Zack Snyder to take a deep dive into his new project, Rebel Moon. But like any of these conversations, it inevitably turned to his time overseeing the DC universe for Warner Brothers. As many of you know, he directed Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and later brought together the whole team in the Justice League. Now we're all familiar with the story. The movie was later taken from him and placed in the hands of Avengers helmer Joss Whedon, resulting in what almost everybody universally agrees was a total mess. Now in the interview, Snyder had a lot to say about what was going on, and more importantly, how the Snyder Cut came to fruition. As many of you know, many of Snyder's fans never let go of the possibility of getting the film released, and the Release the Snyder Cut hashtag still trends to this day. Now, for several years, those cries fell on deaf ears, but interestingly enough, Snyder reveals that on Anna Sarnoff's first day as chairwoman and CEO of Warner Brothers, she walked into her office and found dozens of bouquets and fruit baskets from Snyder Cut supporters. Pretty good move, guys. In the interview, he said, and one of them apparently read, "Welcome to Warner Brothers, now release the Snyder Cut." Snyder went on to say, and I quote, "One after another after another. She didn't even know what it was. She wasn't even aware of the saga. When she told me the story, she was like, 'This is a job? Managing this? I didn't know this was a thing.' Now it was a thing." Now, as many of you know, the Snyder Cut did eventually get released over on HBO Max, and for many fans, this was their ultimate goal and they were very satisfied. But Snyder did go on to talk about some of his reports about toxic fandoms, death threats, and even enlisting bots. But he didn't dive too deep into it, but he did have a valid point. He said, "I'm not going to comment on details of whether they are good or bad, whether they are toxic or bullying. That's in every chat room. It's what comes with the internet. But I do know that the work they did on some level was good. I can say for a fact that they did good. That is undeniable." Now, as for the alleged bots, the truth is, it doesn't matter. The movie got made. If they were smart enough to employ bots in the thing, then they won. The movie has no business existing, and it does. Now, I find this whole quote pretty interesting, but a bit dismissive. I absolutely fully believe there is an element within the Snyder Cut fandom that is truly toxic. Sorry guys. But with that said, for every toxic fan that I've met a person that is simply in love with Zack Snyder's work, and you have to respect that. These people worked really hard to get this movie made, they stayed on target, and you have to give credit where credit's due because the movie now does exist, and like Zack Snyder said, it had no business existing, and it does. I definitely think the Snyder Cut version of the Justice League is head and shoulders above the release version in theaters, and I totally enjoyed it. I don't think we're going to see any more work from him in that universe, but he definitely makes it pretty clear that he would return to the superhero genre. He actually revealed he told James Gunn that he would love to make a comic-accurate take on The Dark Knight Returns, which honestly I would be totally in for. And on the Marvel side, he wants to do Frank Miller's Elektra Lives Again. Rebel Moon drops on December the 22nd. I definitely plan on checking it out, but I do appreciate this big reveal on how the Snyder Cut got made. It is a wonderful example of how positivity can invoke change. This didn't happen because people were mean. This didn't happen because people were nasty. This happened because people sent flowers and fruit baskets and got the attention of his CEO instead of being nasty and calling for them to be fired. Should be a lesson for everybody.